Hello and welcome to the Human Rights Commission regular meeting. Today is Monday, September the 8th, 2025. It's 5 p.m. and I'm calling this meeting to order. Do we have quorum?
Yes, there is a quorum. Let the record reflect that Commissioners Remus, Greer, and Strong are approved absent today.
Okay, wonderful. So the record will show that. So item number 3 is my welcome remarks, and I want to say good evening, Mayor, fellow commissioners, city staff, and members of the public. First, welcome back from our summer recess, and I trust the break has allowed us to all the time that we need to recharge and return ready for the important work before us. Tonight marks a especially significant step forward for this commission on our regular agenda. There are a couple of annexes and there are very important cornerstone documents. The proposed revisions to the original ordinance that created Municipal Code 0.45, which established the Human Rights Commission, and the draft rules and standard operating procedures that will guide how we conduct our business going forward. These documents are not just administrative updates. They're about ensuring that the framework of this commission, its scope, its powers and responsibilities remain strong, relevant, and capable of serving Palm Springs for decades to come. This work of modernization reflects our city's evolving needs, our community's call for equity, and our collective commitment to protecting the rights and dignity of all people in Palm Springs. Alongside these structural items, we will also hear from Palm Springs Pride leadership tonight, which reminds us of the living history and advocacy that give meaning to our work. And we will also discuss subcommittee direction and other operational matters that strengthen our ability to deliver. I also want to note the importance of aligning with the City Council's March 2025 strategic plan. That plan's overarching principles of sustainability and social equity are at the very foundation of our mission. The HRC presentation that we gave to Council in July was prepared to illustrate how our initiatives, whether revising code supporting accessibility or hosting dialogue on equity and belonging, support the Council's goals in economic development, public safety, housing, and infrastructure. Taken together, these efforts represent more than an agenda. They present an opportunity to chart the Commission's future role, to ground work in law and policy, and to demonstrate the Council and to the community that human rights are inseparable from the city's vision for progress. Thank you all for your commitment to this Commission. Let's move forward with the agenda. And that is the next item, which is the acceptance of the agenda. Do I have a motion to accept the agenda as it stands in front of us?
I move.
Soja moves. Second, Vice Chair Soja. Any further discussions on the agenda items? None? Having heard none, let's take a vote to accept the agenda as it stands. You can say hi, raise your hand. Right, so it's unanimous. Thank you. And just like that, we're moving the agenda items, and we love this new space. All right. So we're going to move to item number 5 in the agenda, which is presentations. And the very special presentation we have today is from Palm Springs Pride. And we have the honor to have Wanda Hart, acting as President CEO, and Jasmine Sullivan Waits, the Executive Director, joining us for this presentation. Thank you so much.
What do you want to say?
Whatever you want.
Back it up in front.
Doesn't
Some
matter.
options.
Take your chair. We can see you.
Okay.
Yes. Good.
Okay, so just forewarn you, I'm 1 week on the job, so I do have a lot of no's, and I took a lot of joy putting this presentation together because I had the great opportunity to learn more about the organization in preparation for this. So excuse me, I do have a lot of notes, but I'm excited to be here with you all. Thank you for inviting us. I'm well aware that this commission is probably completely aware of all of the great stuff Pride organization currently does. So my hope is that you all will learn a little bit from this presentation. I will have the ability to learn along with you for this presentation, but I'd really like to just start off with its mission statement so that you can kind of understand some of the work that is done and how it correlates with its mission. Greater Palm Springs Pride is a nonprofit community enhancement organization founded to promote public education and awareness of individual rights and civil liberties of the LGBTQ community, and to promote the history, diversity, and future prosperity of the Greater Palm Springs LGBT community. We work to create a region where LGBTQ people thrive. We support the most marginalized, advocate for equality and justice, and work to build a culturally rich LGBT community. Serving as an advocate for equality and diversity in the Coachella Valley since 1986. The 501c3 nonprofit organization fosters pride and respect for the LGBT community locally and globally throughout its programming. So with that, I'd love to talk a little bit about how the board currently works to foresee that vision through.
You tell me when to scroll through.
First and foremost is through its Pride Parade Festival, which is our most prominent event. The Pride Festival is an inclusive and diverse celebration of the community that exemplifies our mission, vision, and values. It is also the largest free event south of San Francisco, and it is the board's goal to continue that, even though we are currently dealing with some fiscal challenges with sponsors. But it is our goal to continue to ensure that that event is a free event for all. The second one is the Pride Parade, which is the largest equal rights march and diversity celebration in the region. The Harvey Milk Diversity Breakfast, which Palm Springs Pride is a lead organizer and fiscal sponsor for. The event seeks to bring together all those who support equality and justice to celebrate the memory of this influential civil rights leader. The Pride Honors Award, a prestigious Pride honor, is presented annually to individuals who, in order to recognize and honor their efforts in raising awareness and furthering the cause of the LGBT communities. Mentorship, Palm Springs Pride recognizes the importance of Pride movements locally and worldwide by making donations to various organizations and by sharing their experiences and skills with one another. Secondary is to community service. Palm Springs Pride provides grants to organizations that directly impact the LGBT communities in this region. Through various fundraising vehicles, they're used, we raise funds and earmark donations to various organizations. There's always a special emphasis is placed on supporting Coachella Valley LGBT youth and Gay Straight Alliance organizations in the region for middle and high schoolers. Direct community support, Palm Springs Pride directly supports community organizations by providing scholarships, fee waivers, making charitable contributions, and sponsoring various events. And through partnerships, Palm Springs Pride creates partnerships with organizations, enabling them to raise funds in exchange for their involvement in the Pride programs. And last of all is supporting youth through supporting youth in our community. Palm Springs Pride is committed to supporting the LGBT youth in Coachella Valley through mentorship and community engagement and by directly funding grassroots programs for youth development, team building, and anti-bullying efforts. Additionally, we create safe and affirming opportunities for youth to participate in activities related to Pride. We actively collaborate with the Safe Schools of the Desert. We work on multi-year programs to recognize LGBT youth, especially with an emphasis on graduating seniors. Provide a Harvey Milk educational kit to all GSAs to introduce students to Harvey Milk and his legacy. We provide training and promote camaraderie at the Rainbow Youth Summit in March. Provide scholarships to teachers for the Rainbow Summit. We honor the GSA Advisor of the Year, and we sponsor a Hearty Milk essay contest. So something I found this very interesting. I won't read it all, but learning just a little bit about the history of the organization and also the Pride events in general. It talks just a little bit about the history of how the event started, where it started, which I'm not sure a lot of people know about, which I actually knew a little bit about it because one of the original organizers was Denise Gooseby. So she told me kind of the history of how the event started and where it started. So it was really interesting to learn a little bit about it. And if you want to know more, it is on the website, palmspringspride.org. So let's talk a little bit about the team. It is a very small team of people who do really amazing work. It's really, really fostered a lot of volunteers. So if you can volunteer, if you know anyone who wants to volunteer, we're always looking for volunteers to participate in the large array of programming that the organization puts on throughout the year. But currently we have President and CEO Rhonda Hart, Rabbi Dr. Julius King, Bill Wheeler, Paulina Angel, and Tom Davis, which I had the great pleasure of meeting them all recently, and they're a great group of people with some really strong vision for the organization. So I'm very much looking forward to some strategic planning on what this organization is going to look like moving forward in the coming years. Okay, where are we going? I think that's always really interesting, especially in our current political climate. What are we talking about, and how are we going as a community to kind of overcome that? And from my understanding, the Pride organization is only looking forward. There are challenges with funding, but even with that, the board really wants to ensure the community that this event will take place. It will be wonderful. People will come out. It will impact our economy, which is what we always hope for. So we are looking forward to what this looks like moving forward. Our Pride Festival, block parties, and parade are all moving forward at the same pace that they were previously. There will be some minor changes. The community will still have an amazing event to attend. The LGBTQ plus monument. I'm sure you all have heard a lot about it. We would like to just give an extra special thanks to one of our founding circle members. Thank you, MJ Horn, for your contribution and support. It means a lot. So the installation will be visible in a lasting tribute to the contributions of the LGBTQ plus community in Palm Springs and the greater Coachella Valley, serving as a beacon of hope and inspiration for future generations. It'll be a powerful educational tool, helping to raise awareness of our LGBTQ plus community's rich history and culture. The installation will be a place where LGBT plus people can gather and celebrate their identity and culture in a free and feel a sense of pride and belonging with family and friends. So I believe this will be ready by mid-October. We're really hoping that we get to celebrate it for the quality walk that we're planning, and there will be a bit of a celebration along with the path where we'll be able to celebrate this installation and what it means to the community. And another one, the Arenas District Flagpole Project, which is also in full works. I saw the platforms all out there and looks good, like where it's going to happen. Which I know Ron is very excited about. It will feature a prominent installation of the Gilbert Baker designed Pride flag, considered the most significant piece of the LGBT plus art created by Baker. This landmark art installation commemorates, the Black, white, Latino, Asian, and Native-born activists who have tirelessly fought for the LGBT plus community. And a new event coming to the city that we are very, very excited about, and we encourage everyone to create a team and come out and support this event. It will be utilized as a bit of a fundraiser to help subsidize some of the sponsorship deficit that we are anticipating. But we are very much looking forward to this event, October 25th. It will start on Arenas Road. It'll walk downtown and a little bit of uptown through Francis Stevens Park. We're really encouraging our businesses to come out and help support it as well while the walkers walking through the event. But it will be a very, very fun event. So we're encouraging people to create teams, raise some funds and come out and support. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, the Pride Honor Awards. If you have not attended the class, please come out and support these amazing individuals who are constantly doing good work for our community, advocating. It is Thursday, October 16th. It's at the Hyatt Hotel. And if anyone's interested, you can purchase tickets online on the website, Palm Springs
At the
Pride.
Hyatt?
Yes, palmspringspride.org. Day of the Queen and the King. So this is one of our kickoff events to Pride festivities. It happens the Thursday prior to all the festivities that take place downtown. So we close Arenas Road on Tuesday morning and Thursday evening. There's a fantastic event that takes place in the downtown quarter. So if you have not gone, please come out. It's a terrific event. And then overnight, it transitions into the official kickoff block party for the Arenas Road District. So this will take place in the same location, but it will be on Friday night as a kickoff for Pride weekend. So the Community Leadership Council. I did not know a lot about this particular council, so I'm going to read what we have listed so that you all have an understanding if you don't already. The Community Leadership Council was formed in May of 2018. There are 30 organizations represented at the first meeting. Since then, 60 different organizations participate. The mission of the Palm Springs LGBTQ Community Council is to support and enhance the businesses, political, cultural, and community life with the Palm Springs LGBT community by providing safe, stable, effective, and ongoing collaboration through the LGBT community organizations to exchange information effectively, coordinate community activities, collaborate on community projects, and provide coordination through this community leadership. So it's really an organization. Do you all belong to it?
Mhm.
I was like, I feel like you should. So its intent is really so that missions and goals can align with one another, and there's a greater sense of support and collaboration. And I know you all enjoy this event. It's one of the best events. I love attending it every year. You cry for multiple reasons, but it is a great event. It's an essential community event where we celebrate Harvey Milk's life and legacy, join community leaders, business leaders, as we support equality and justice for our 14th annual coming up, 14th annual Harvey Milk. It is scheduled, it's on there. You can already buy tickets, you can already sponsor. So go to the website, May 14th, 2026.
Yeah.
And then finally, is there some official events that will be coming in 2026? We are planning a Latin Carnival, which will take place in downtown on Arenas Road. The Big Gay Barbecue is shifting dates. It was normally the beginning of June, but we're moving it to April to kind of help support the local business community during a time that's a bit of a downfall due to the festivals on the East Valley. And then we are participating in a Marilyn Monroe 100th birthday celebration, where we are encouraging people to dress up, and we're going to try and break a world record. You see me looking at my backup over there. I want to make sure I get that information accurate. But the intent is to try and break a world record of the most Marilyn Monroes dressed up in one place at one time.
That sounds
So
cool.
I look forward to seeing everybody in their best Marilyn Monroe out there. I think I have one more. Thank you. Thank you for having us. I'm very excited to be here with you all. The work you do is very important for the community, and I personally believe it's more important now than it ever has been. So please do continue to do the beautiful work you do.
Thank you, Chad. So if you have any comments or questions, please ask me.
Or Ron, if you're here too.
The
Hold on.
the equality walk, does that take place in the form of EAP walk?
It does, yes. Yeah, so the intent was to continue to provide that event to the community with just a different focus. So yes, it is.
That's great. Questions, comments? I have one, maybe I did not catch the Pride Parade dates. We have dates for that. I know it's November.
Yeah, it is the seventh. The parade is on the seventh.
Ninth and ninth.
I would say, yeah, sorry. my apologies.
November, that's great. And then, of course, this is so fueled by volunteers. So for the public, how can people get involved and volunteer in these events?
Absolutely. So if you go to the website, pspride.org, there is a link on there where you can sign up for very specific events that you want to volunteer for, or generally you just want to volunteer. And we will reach out and talk about what our needs are.
And also people can make contributions to both the monument and the flagpole installations also on the website?
Yes, yes. And we are always looking for community support for projects and events that we are doing, but definitely the flagpole and the monument are high on our priority list at this time.
Okay, great. It's incredible the amount of work you guys are putting together. It's just amazing. And just
Well, I've only
looking-
been here a week, so this is what I've
and
done.
I was like gonna say, like, you already have events already planned for 2026 and you've only been a week.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
Ron's putting me to work.
I know. Thank you so much.
And I would
Jasmine.
just like to say, even though you said you've been here a week, you come with so much experience that it's phenomenal. So
I
thank you.
appreciate it. Of course.
Thank you so much for bringing our community together and making sure that these events are held, safely, but also, again, building community and helping us celebrate the diversity that Palm Springs attracts, so which is wonderful. Any other comments or questions for Jasmine or Ron? Thank you so much. That's great. All right. Next on our agenda, commissioners, is the approval of minutes. These are the minutes of the meeting that we held for July 14, 2025. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Commissioner Holmes moves at second motion, Commissioner Rinke. Any further discussion in minutes? And those who are going to approve, say aye, raise your hand for the record. Okay, so again, it's unanimous. Thank you. The minutes have been approved. The next item on our agenda is public comments. Do we have any requests for public comments? None, Jeremy?
There are no requests for public comments.
Item eight, we have new business and it appears we have no items for new business on our agenda. Moving to item number 9, which is discussion items. 9A brings us to talk a little bit about the historical perspective regarding the original ordinance for creating municipal code 2.45 that established the Human Rights Commission. And we have a special guest that's going to help us bring a little bit of memory. And I would like to introduce and welcome Tony Aguilar, who was appointed to draft the current HRC ordinance in the early 1990s. Tony, please join us over here. It's great to have you. Very nice to meet you, sir.
Good afternoon. Deputy Manager, Chairman, members, guests. My name is Tony Aguilar, and I have the pleasure of having Sonny Bono, who is a dear friend of mine, appointed as the chair of the task force that established the Human Rights Commission back in 1991. We worked on it for about 9.5 months, meeting twice a month. I had 9 stellar members, very gifted. I've been able to recruit a number of people. There are only 3 of us still alive today, and they are Anita Rufus, myself, former mayor Ron Odom. That's where Ron got his start in politics, as the Human Rights Commission member. I had some really great experiences doing this. I want to tell you how we approached the program. It took us, like I said, 9 months to develop the program, presented to the then mayor, not Sonny Bono, but anyway, forgot his name. He was not very receptive. Okay. He fought us for about a month and a half. And then the last month I called the media. He did not know that. And I put it up to the media. I said, we need to get this thing brought up for a vote. Anyway, that finally got it passed. And he finally, the city council approved it. But let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a retired Navy commander, nuclear trained in submarines. 22 years of my life I've spent serving my country, including service in Vietnam. The submarine came into my life quite by accident. I retired to San Diego, got my broker's license before I retired at my real estate office, bought a Mexican food restaurant, having a lot of fun, making a lot of money. Just so I can be here to play golf on the weekends. One weekend on the way back to the Charger game, I started noticing the traffic was really building up. Eventually, it really got me. What the hell am I doing this? I'm single, closed my real estate office up in Palm Springs, sell the rest of the which was what happened. And I've never looked back. That's 39 years ago. I've lived in this community and I love Palm Springs. I do a lot of traveling. I've been all over this planet. And, you know, I always miss Palm Springs. I've been gone for 2 or 3 weeks. I just returned from Cabo San Lucas, which was an amazing stay. But after 10 days, I'm ready to go home. So we live in a very beautiful city. And I'm glad to see that we have a Human Rights Commission to thank you. I'm interested, Chairman. You have 5 members and that's it.
No, we have, the commission is made of 9 members. We have 1 vacancy, but right now, because we're coming back from summer, a couple of our commissioners could not join,
Okay.
for
But
various
there's 9
reasons.
members.
But it's a
That's
9-member
great.
commission.
That's what we have.
Yep.
By the way, our committee consisted of some really stellar people, a couple of doctors, psychologists, an MD. Anita's still known as a spokesperson, has her own radio show, I think. Anyway, they were really interested. I interviewed each one of them before I selected for the task board. And we did things like, we actually went out in the community, talking to people, asking them their opinion on this and so on and so forth, which I think is very effective. I also invited the media a couple of times to our meetings, especially if there was something significant. And I encourage you to consider that, by the way. What's the composition of your committee?
In terms of,
How many women, how many straight,
So-
how many gay people?
in terms of gender, we have, I would say 2, women, members. And then the majority, and then the rest is male. And we have a transgender, member that has,
Okay.
just recently joined.
Okay.
And he also have, they also happen to identify as they, them, because he's in transition. But also, it happens to be, handicapped. So it has a severe handicap, situation, medical condition. So I would say that the composition of our commission, it's a very, very diverse one.
I would be doing you a disservice if I wasn't honest about my view.
Yeah.
That's why, okay, I tell it like it is, always that. I think in order to have an effective Human Rights Commission, you must have representation that represents the entire community.
Sure.
Latinos, women, gay, straight.
And we do have that.
Do you have any African Americans on the council?
Yep, the Malachi would be
Okay,
also
okay.
considered African American.
Again, I just wanted to be educated on your composition. I hope that your, how long your limits, your meetings usually last?
2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours. That's a good. Meeting. Do you ever invite any guests?
Yes, one of the things that we started in January, since we came back from a brief hiatus, is that we started to invite local, state, and national organizations to provide us with presentations about the work that they're doing to help in the field of human rights. So we've got wonderful people coming and introducing what their organizations are doing. And in fact, having Friday Day is a perfect example of that kind of approach to bring folks to tell us who they are, what they do, how do they support our community in various ways, and for us to have a nice open conversation with them. And also because it's part of public consumption, right? So it's part of public record. And our people in our community will be able to hear and see what these organizations do to help advance human rights.
Okay, I don't know whether any of you were active in the city back in 1991 when we met and established the Human Rights Commission. Shortly after that, my dear friend Trey Lopez and I heard that the city youth center, which used to be on the ski, now something else, couldn't pay the utility, and the city was not in a position to help them. So between Trini and myself, we set up a one-day celebrity golf tournament with six celebrities besides me. We had the tournament on Indian Wells, sold out in 2 weeks. We raised $12,000 for the youth center. They paid the bills and so forth. It was so much fun. I decided to do it again next year. Only had a 2-day tournament then. Again, sold out. Long story short, that tournament went until 2022 when I retired. I was tired. I had more than 23 people. A lot of them were either retired or passed away. So I'd say retired, but we had a ball. 4 days, 4 parties, black time on Saturday. Usually had 500 people there or more. 3 days of golf and four parties. It was just became a huge 36 celebrities every day of golf and at the events. All the entertainment provided by celebrities free. The band was complimentary. Somebody else paid for it. So we did a lot of good. And from that, we also got into helping other entities. Okay. The Human Rights Commission has always been very dear to me. Long before I found out that my oldest daughter, I have 2 daughters, they're both attorneys, the oldest one, she's a lesbian, she's married, and she has a great partner. I love her like mom and daughter. But I've always been profoundly interested in human rights. Back from my naval officer days. Okay. The discrimination that existed in those days was not against all kids, because I'm a Mexican. As an officer, I never ever experienced discrimination. But I saw it with the enlisted people, especially the blacks, Filipinos. In those days, the Filipino could only serve as a steward. Steward took care of officers, and that's all they did. But that's all changed. Again, evolution. It's good that we have people like you, because that's what creates that movement to change things. Our city and our area is profoundly fair. I don't think I have witnessed maybe a couple incidents of discrimination downtown. Only one individual, the business owner, and I pulled him aside and I really read it to him. I said, if you don't change your attitude, I'll make sure you don't get any business. Change his attitude. But we have to do that. We as spokespeople, we have to talk to people. We see a wrong, correct. Take it, correct. If you can't, get somebody else to help you. Anyway, moving on. I would like to see you invite the media more often when you have something really significant, because they can help you. This commission, in my opinion, is one of the most important in the desert, because you hear pieces from down valley, Desert City. People know about you, but they need to know more about you. And how do we do that? Call the media, get them involved in your meetings, get the word out. I rarely hear about your work.
Yeah. Kendall, who's joining us by Zoom, Mr. Aguilar, the Kendall person who can see her name on the screen. She represents the media. She's with the Palm Springs Public.
Good. Well,
And they're very good about joining our meetings.
so hopefully she does something by getting you print in the paper. Okay, because that's where you want to see it. Want to read about the Human Rights Commission meeting, did this, did that, because people need to hear that. Okay. Everybody, I want to thank you for the invitation. Lovely, wonderful group of people. Thank you, and please thank the city manager. I know him, I know your mayor and the whole group. I've been very active in this city for a long time, folks. I was fortunate enough to be nominated for a star 9 years ago. We've done a lot of things, such as the tournament, Human Rights Commission was just a part of it. Nationally, I've done a lot because I love my city. Everywhere I go, Washington DC on trips, I promote our city.
Is one of the reasons why we all came to live here. So thank you so much for your service and for all the work that you did to help us establish the beginning of this movement. Everything that you did in those days is
I'm
still
gonna give you my
relevant.
card. If you let me know about your
And I don't know,
meeting from that, and I'll try to attend whenever I'm kind of a very busy guy. Enjoying life.
that's
Not
wonderful.
working very much anymore.
That's wonderful, Mr. Aguilar. And again, thank you so much for all the work that you and your fellow commissioners did
You bet.
in those days to help us get this established. Comments or questions?
You folks have nice, any questions at all?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Before I got here, we lost a very dear friend, wonderful man, and Harold Metzler. So
Yeah.
we just session before I got here. But anyway, we're very fortunate to have lived in this beautiful city.
We are.
God
Thank you,
bless.
sir. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And with that wonderful, set of remarks and, the background and all the work that went, we are still in the process of revising our ordinance and our municipal code 2.45. And I know before we broke for the summer recess, that I reminded everyone to send in your comments, your remarks, your suggestions to continue to revise the document that you have seen a few times, but also knowing that a few particular the newer commissioners might have not had the opportunity to engage with this document. This is really important work, folks. And if we're gonna be remembered for anything, particularly those of us who are getting ready to finish our terms and our appointments, this is a very important piece of the work that the commission is engaging. So I'll just open it up if you want to ask questions, make suggestions. It's a work in progress. I don't know if you've been able to make notes. I know I have sent a set of recommendations and I have a few others to make, but we can share them with Jeremy. The vehicle is going to be our staff liaison. So very chairman.
Comment?
Yes, you-
Wanted to remind the group, and I don't know if our new members were present, but at a couple of meetings ago, we had an attorney from Best and Krieger come in, gave us a little bit of history about domestic partnerships, and that's where we got hung up with in some of the language. I, along with the city attorney's office, are currently working on providing new updated domestic partnership language, so that is coming. Chatting with Hugo, we wanted to get a little bit more information from this group before we roll out a total package, so we're not doing piecemeal, it's a little bit here, a little bit there. So after this meeting, any additional feedback I get, I'll be able to put it all together into one final revised document that we can review. My plan is, I'm hoping by the end of the calendar year, we can get something before the city council, finally get this adopted and feather in the cap. And
Yeah.
something we can be proud of.
And I can tell you that for me, the most important part of all of this is to be able to say, every commissioner had you all had a hand in this particular work, and this wasn't just the work by you, but by the entirety of the commission. So that's my hope. I should say that we proudly work together collaboratively and making sure that any and all of the recommendations were reviewed and included in this draft that we're gonna put in front of the council for reading and then hopefully for adoption. Yes,
The redlining that we see was changes already discussed in May, like before I come on. I know some of that is predating. So
That's correct. This has been going on for probably a year, and this is a sort of an amalgamation of all the different comments that have been made, settled on. And when this was presented to city council, it really was the section on domestic partnerships that we were striking a lot of language. Council said, hey, slow up a little bit. Let's make sure to do something that recognizes the sort of the progressive nature of the city. When we really stepped forward and said, hey, let's recognize the domestic partnerships before it was really a thing.
yeah, and in that sense, Palm Springs is so forward thinking because, we kind of adopted domestic partnerships before any other major places in the state of California and in the country. So again, this work is still paramount and forward thinking. The last time this ordinance was renewed was in the 90s, right? And so here we are, 2025, and an opportunity to say, look, we have to come up with this incredible piece of legislation and for the city and for the community that will withstand another 25, 30 years. This is that important.
Yeah, we used to hear a lot about domestic partnerships back in the early nineties. It was really an issue because it wasn't gay marriage and all of that. Now that there's a possibility of a threat of gay marriage disappearing, and I think domestic partnership is the next step to strengthen whatever we have as far as
Protection. I agree with you 100%. I think this is so critical.
should we be looking at it through the lens of if marriage equality is overturned, what is there a plan B for this? We spend the work to do this and that's unfortunately done.
This is an opportunity to say we also need to consider plan B if marriage equality is stricken out. And what kinds of protections people entering a type of domestic partnership. And nowadays it really doesn't matter if it's, just male to male, female to female, with the inclusion of our transgender community. This really has to read in a way that it protects everyone who's interested in engaging in a domestic partnership registration.
Scott, is that something we want to put on the agenda? Sure.
No, so those comments,
Yeah.
the question that Scott had in front of us should be included. We need to have maybe a paragraph, maybe some kind of language in this document that says we're also thinking about what happens at the federal level.
As I'm putting my comments and thoughts together, one of the things I consider is absolutely planning for plan B. And do we include very specific language that says sort of if this then that, or do we include language that says we understand gay marriage exists. If it goes away, we revert back to what we had before.
Yep.
I thought that, but I think what we had before still needs to be strengthened and needs some sort of polish.
This was addressed by the point of keeping all the extensive information about
Yes.
domestic partnerships. So that would really be Plan B. It's implied in the document.
Mhm.
Is the way I saw it in the discussion.
Can we go further? I guess where I would challenge the commission, and I don't know the answer to that, but is there something more that we can do or afford?
Well, this is a municipal code, so putting in a supposition or a concern that is very time capped. It's like maybe the next 4 years. I don't know how would you do that?
That's where I'm struggling.
Yeah. Is it necessary? What maybe our legal advisors would be able to address that.
I mean, there is a big question about legal, if gay marriage should be struck, about trusts and wills, and the importance of knowing what kind of an impact that'll make on relationships. Perhaps we might want to think about having an attorney come in and explain to us what we should be ready for should this occur.
Yeah, another thought would be addressing, again, I'm kind of backtracking, but if gay marriage is not an option, how do you convert marriage back into a domestic partnership? Is that the question?
I also think we, as the Human Rights Commission, could spearhead an actual event where we bring in those experts to speak to the community directly. We'll be there, but we would welcome these because I think telling us is great and we get to that, but I think that's a bigger impact. I think a lot of people would show up for that if this ever happened. And I think, in a way, is there a way? And maybe I'm being a little too forceful, but for this to say, in the event that it is overturned, the city of Palm Springs still recognizes whatever term we used, gay marriage, LGBT, all marriages as equal, kind of figure out that legal jargon, as I say.
Yeah, I'll certainly consult with the city attorney's office, but if I'm hearing correctly, we go as specific as, the city recognizes that the Obersnell decision gives the right to gay marriage. If it were to be overturned, then this would.
That's exactly.
That way we're giving recognition to what happened before, acknowledging kind of the great place we're in today, but putting the caveat, if something terrible happens, here's what the future could.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of, I was going to make a recommendation about sort of a community education event that you've raised great questions. What happens if this, what happens with wills and trusts? Great for us to learn, but we want to get it to the larger audience, perhaps listening to Mr. Aguilar, getting the press involved. How do we push out information, that learning opportunity? I think council, I don't want to speak for council, but they asked us to get involved in the community. This could be big.
And that's where the press is important.
My sense, folks, is that not a whole lot of people knows that we have domestic partnership as an option in today's, situation and everything. I guarantee you that if we were to send out a survey, very few people would say, "Oh, that's still an option." Right? So, and remember that one of the things that we are tasked to do is education. This goes right with our goal of education, educating our community as to what is available. So this is really important. And I really would like every single one in this commission to really put your thinking forward and engage in this very important work that we have in front of us.
Quick question. Everything we read is what
Was.
is that officially been struck out? Or
Nothing
suggested?
It's suggestions that are being presented to the council. So this is what the HRC said, this is what we think the final product should be. And the council picked it back saying, do some more work with domestic partnerships. And since then, the world has evolved a little bit more. So it would be helpful if the group could send any comments to me via email, phone call, just give me your ideas.
I have
so
a
can
few
work
additional
with
ones. And I actually printed, but I did not make copies for everyone, but I will send this to you via email so that we can look at it and see if they can be incorporated into this last draft.
you send to me that I can disseminate it out and put it on the record and also send it out to all of each.
Beautiful. So again, Commissioner, please engage with this and send a set of recommendations to Jeremy any way you want to. Because this is really important work. All right. So that's it with 9A. 9B has the subcommittee discussion. The subcommittee's reminder is an active subcommittee made of Commissioner Rankin and Vice Chair Soda on the what are we calling this? Something explore programs. Pensions. Yes. So are you going to be presenting something today or?
No.
This past week, Commissioner Rankin and I met. We had a very productive meeting. We decided that we need to extend to the next meeting, and we are meeting again this week. And the proposal that Carlotta and David worked on, they were extensively. A great proposal. There's things that we both do need to be removed or changed, and we would like the opportunity to do that in the next meeting, and then present it to you in its new form.
So would that be a request to move your presentation and your recommendations to October?
Yes, sorry. The recommendations are modified
Okay,
and
great.
streamlined. Yeah.
Do we need to, do I need to ask for a motion for this item to be agendized in October?
Yes, sir. Please ask for a
Okay.
motion to forward
So,
to.
okay, so I need a motion, and it could be either one.
I would make a motion to extend this to our October.
Okay, and then a second, by Commissioner Rinke. And then we need to take a vote. Great.
And if I make this comment, Commissioner Ranky has worked very hard. I want to thank you for doing that. And I think that needs to be acknowledged. And she's working very hard on her new proposal to change it too. So thank
You know, I want to say that it looks like with the new membership, kind of pivoting some of our interest and changes. Do you think, Jeremy, that you could send out the strategic plan of the city council? Yeah, so, because what we're kind of exploring for is what is our strategy for this year? And what is our purpose? And already it's sort of, I want to say bubbling up with our discussion. But maybe, maybe that's another, we can finish and close this particular set of recommendations, but maybe then look on what the broader strategy would be for this commission under the auspices of what the strategy is of the city council.
I think that's a great recommendation.
Absolutely.
And it's a PDF, it's one document.
Yeah.
It's easy peasy to read. I love how they really made that plan,
Really boiled it down. to a
boil it
single-
down, and it's easy to read, and you can see the strategies and the goals. And that's a wonderful document to look at when we're thinking strategically about what is the work that we're trying to do here in support to the council's plan. Great. So we agreed, but to move this item to October. And then 9C has us talking a little bit about the draft of the standard operating procedure, which is also included in your agenda packet. And this is a document a little over a year ago. Commissioner Rankin, you were part of this, right? As well as former Commissioner David Mignolo. And we're one of the very few boards and commissions that actually has an operating standards manual or guide. And it's called Rules and Standard Operating Procedures of the Human Rights Commission for the City of Palm Springs. We have goals. We have the composition of commissioners, convening of power, the role of our staff liaison. How do we get organized and structured? It was a very robust document that, again, was pretty old, and certain parts of it did not they were not relevant going forward. For example, in item J, and it's page 3 out of 8. It says in accordance with City of Palm Springs Government Representative Program for Students, the Human Rights Commission will have a minimum of 1 student representative. The student representative program is designed to encourage volunteerism, civic responsibility, and provide valuable real-life experiences for high school and college students who reside, work, or go to school in Palm Springs. Current eligibility criteria and applications will be made available on the Commission City website. Student representatives' nomination forms and letter of interest shall be reviewed by the chair, vice chair, and staff liaison in a timely manner. The chair shall then recommend nominees for final approval to the full committee at its next regular meeting. So that item alone, I think is no longer relevant because we don't have any nomination for any submissions or students to be part of this commission. Is that right?
The item is out of date because the city council has relaxed the requirements on membership commission. So now a member, a resident in high school could apply to be a commissioner and get a full commissioner spot. And you no longer have to have a sort of less than non-voting membership. You can be a full-fledged voting member, even though you're in high school.
There you go. So that's an important thing that we have to look into for this particular document. whether or not moving forward, this is going to be even part of standard procedure. Another example is on page 4 out of 8 with regards to the media policy. And it said, all news and press releases generated by the commission must be reviewed by the chair and or vice chair. The chair is the primary spokesperson of the commission. Staff liaison is responsible for the coordination of communications with the city office, communications and media relations. Any member of the commission may elect to respond to the media as an individual. However, any issue involving business of the commission requires communication with the chair and the vice chair. Very important, right? This is the kind of procedure that needs to be upheld and remain the way we communicate with media. So there's no surprises that something was published before we had the opportunity to even discuss the item as an issue. I think the conflict of interest looks okay. Attendance is another area. And it says on the page 5 out of 8, attendance. A quorum is essential for the conduct of commission business. Commissioners shall contact the commission staff liaison 48 hours prior to the next scheduled regular meeting of their intent to attend. If a quorum is not present, the meeting might be adjourned by the members who are there. If no members are present, the meeting may be adjourned by staff liaison. All meetings of the commission shall be conducted in accordance with the current council approved methods of conducting meetings of city boards and commissions. Unexcused absences. If a commission member misses 3 consecutive or 25% of the regular meetings in a fiscal year, 3 meetings, his or, now we need to include they, membership is automatically terminated. If the absence of the regular meeting is because the regular meeting was changed from the normal second Monday of each month, then the absence shall be considered excused for purposes of this attendance policy. And it goes further. Excused absence. Advance notice. The period of time for advance notice to be given is a minimum 1 week prior to the next scheduled regular meeting, or sudden illness, no advance notice is required, or unexpected business personal matters, a minimum of 48 hours prior notice is required. All notices regarding absences shall be reported to the commission staff liaison and approved by the chair. So you can start to see how these little nuanced things in this procedure document are so critical. Because to the degree that we adopt these and we understand the rules of engagement for each of every one of us, makes it clear, and there's no question, usually that means not 1, not 2, but like 5 or 6 meetings. There was no record of why.
Can
Yes.
I do a point of clarification on item C, unexpected business, personal matters, a minimum of 48 hours doesn't make sense to me, because if it's unexpected, it happened the day before, anyway, so I don't know, is there any kind of,
So that's where you as commissioner, Michael, would come in and say, this needs to be rewritten, because this makes no sense. This is the exercise.
this is how we check.
This is the exercise. You can, in your capacity, commissioner said, that makes absolutely no sense. It needs to be rewritten or it needs to go out. Because this
So that it's also proposed and not instructed.
correct. We never really actually voted to adopt it fully. It was a work in progress. And then we were set on a small revision for a period of time, so we were not meeting to conduct.
To be honest, I didn't know this existed until the last meeting when someone asked for it forward. I didn't know that this was out there. It predated my time when I came on as the liaison.
So we have another very important document in front of us, because while some of us are serving already our second appointment period, some of you are still joining. And this is the kind of a document that will guide you moving forward. And when it's time for you to leave the commission, you would do yourselves a great favor by looking at it again and safeguarding it for the next batch of commissioners that will come in afterwards. That's why this is important. That is-
The chair, are you asking the commissioners to treat this like we are the municipal code where they can email the proposed revisions and I can put together a more robust red line document that we can bring back for
Yeah.
future discussion?
That's exactly what I'm recommending. And we don't have a date in mind because this is a very important document that will be used by us and by future commissioners. So no reason to think backwards now, it's all forward thinking. I would say that with immediate attention, you can send your recommendations to Jeremy. And if you get enough feedback to include this in October, great. If not in November, that's fine also.
Can I ask about one part that jumped out at me? So tardiness, meaning like 15 minutes late or leaving 15 minutes early counts as an absence, this says. But if you have alerted the chair and Jeremy that you have to leave early, does that still count as an absence?
No, because you,
Got
you did exactly what you needed to do, which is, I need to let you know that
Yeah.
for these reasons, I won't be able to stay for the entirety of the meeting, or I'm gonna be absent.
So perhaps with some clarification language.
Yeah.
Clarification language.
With no ambiguity.
This
Right.
is the kind of thing, there's like, it sounds really ambiguous. It is left to interpretation.
Exactly.
That's the kind of work that this document.
I remember we did a lot of discussion around the goals
Mhm.
in the first part of the page one.
Mhm.
And so number three, to advocate on behalf of community groups.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, like, number two, to investigate and mediate instances of discrimination. I don't believe we're mediating.
We're no longer mediating. This is the one particular goal that needs to be bring, because we're no longer doing mediation. We can direct folks to organizations such as the organization that presented for us a few months ago who does
Yeah.
conflict resolution,
Yeah.
their conflict resolution unit. We can point out to those resources
Sure.
whenever we
Which
see
is
it.
part of the Department of Civil Rights.
But in the past, for those of you who sort of knew, only two commissioners in this group had gone through the mediation training and certification. It was my then Vice Chair Donna Shepherd and Commissioner Claude. They were the only two people in the commission who had gone through training and were certified mediators. Outside of them, we didn't have the ability to say, you know, Scott Evans, Ricky have the background skills certification to become mediators. At this point, we have. So that's the kind of thing that needs to go.
And that's also currently in the municipal code. That's one of the red lines that's been stricken from the code that we won't mediate future disputes.
So again, for public, in the media, and for us, I ask you that you send your recommendations for the revision of the document to Jeremy. Right, so this is the other document that needs to be revised. And once we have a good draft, we'll bring it, we'll do a reading, we can do a reading of it. We can make sure that everyone is comfortable about it, and then we'll take a vote to adopt.
That'd be the next meeting.
If it's ready for October, wonderful, but if it's not ready for October, it could be November.
Would it be helpful if I say I will include it in the October agenda so that if a conversation happens, great, we have it on the agenda. If there's no discussion, we just move on.
it on to- Yeah,
Please do.
that sounds very sensible. So any questions about this particular document? Any further questions or comments? No? We're going on to item number 10, which is commission member comments and requests. Vice Chair, you have an update for us.
I could give you all a handout. This past week, Jeremy was given this information through another party. and looked into it, and he's actually signed up for it. But let me explain to you what this group, California Association of Human Relations Organization, is about. It's very brief. The California Association of Human Relations Organization, also known as CAHRE, is a statewide organization of people and organizations that promote full acceptance of all persons by conducting activity designed to protect basic human and civil rights, and by creating a climate of respect and inclusion through networks of collaborations that reduce community tension and build intergroup relationships. CAHRO is funded by grants and private donations. So the handout that I've given you, they are doing a Zoom training on this, and it's going to be October 1st from 12 to 1:30. And it's a no charge. If you would like to participate, at the very bottom, it's got the RSVP to the email. And it's not a website, it's actually an email to that person saying you would like to attend.
Is it a Zoom call?
It's Zoom.
And so anyone in this commission can attend.
Anybody in this commission can attend, anybody can pretty much attend.
And so for the public,
Yes.
how can they sign up?
For the public, if they're interested in signing up, you RSVP to email. It's actually to RSVP, email CAHRO.official@gmail.com. That's to RSVP, email CAHRO.official@gmail.com. And that will get you registered to be part of the Zoom.
What would be the specific ways that you would implement this training? Do you have any more information? I can just
They
look.
actually went on their website. Their website is informative, but it didn't appear to be real updated to me. But somebody put some time into it. And I otherwise than that I don't. I Googled it. I read all about it, but it's basically a nonprofit that's survived on grants and donations, and they are promoting the human rights. So for an hour and a half training program or an hour and a half of explanation of everything, I think that'd be worth an hour and a half.
Do we know when this is gonna take place? This conference or?
Oh, yeah, it's happening October 1st. Out from 1 to 12, it's gonna be Zoom.
Oh, Zoom, okay.
Yes.
Very good.
So if you have any interest at all, there's no charge for it, and feel free to take it upon yourself to register if you'd like, and I'll be curious to see what everybody thinks to attend.
That's fun. Okay, questions about this particular event? We did talk about upcoming events in the calendar, but it was great to hear the updates from Pride, which happens in November. And I don't think we marched last year together as a commission, but if you feel it in yourself, your soul, that we like to do getting together and do the parade as commission, that would be wonderful. I don't know as the banner, we can figure it out where the banner is. But it happens in November, and it's really a wonderful experience. And Scott, you've served as MC for years, right? In the event.
And served as MC last year. I've been in the parade a few times. It's really fun. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful experience.
And the only time we did it, the only time we did it together as a commission, we had a blast.
We did.
And so I would love for us to consider doing this walk together. Following the walk in November in Pride, we also do I'm drawing a blank. Veterans Day. We do Veterans Day. And that event also, that parade is super fun. It's great engaging with the community and our veterans, and their families and our veteran community. So Veterans Day Parade is another one of the parades that we do in the fall, and I would encourage everyone to join. I would like for us to be there. Black History committee, Black History Committee. It's another important group that we also participate with frequently. And they also have a parade. I don't have the dates in front of me. But that's another great opportunity to engage with our Black community. And I think those are the three main fall events.
We could, if we wanted to, also all band together to create one team for the Equality Walk
Yes.
and maybe be one of the top fundraisers. And that's always a fun way to get people to donate. If you build a team, ask your friends to join your team, but really we're creating the Human Rights Commission team and walk to, do it together and raise the funds. We could really sort of make a huge impact and statement within the community.
Raising the funds by joining the equity walk.
Yeah. And I think
And
it's
not by going out and getting money from sponsors.
no, I think it's the same thing as the DAPL walk was sort of like you just said to your friends, will you sponsor me if I do the walk? And it's really fun. People usually
The
love
money
to give that. Goes right to pride. Yeah.
How long is this new equality walk going to be? Like,
I don't think Jacqueline went into detail a little bit, but it sounded like it's a good. They're usually like 2-3 miles, I think. Right? Is the
Uptown, downtown.
through the park.
Get a couple miles at least.
I mean, some people drop out halfway through and go to brunch, but as long as you show up and do some of it, it counts, and people will donate. So it's nice if we wanted to do it. It's very fun.
Commissioner Nevis, you tag it.
Uh-oh.
You tag your it.
Okay.
I love that idea. I would be definitely joining and doing the walk with you and
I
anyone
would
who does.
Oh, great.
Yes, sign me up. Let's
Okay.
do this.
I'll figure out how we make teams.
We
I have a
will-
question. Oh,
Go ahead. I had another item, but when we're ready to discuss,
whenever.
is this a good time?
Yeah, this is the time.
So one of the ideas that's been we've been entertaining being in the previous commission was to have an independent website for the Human Rights Commission, and that website would be able to be we are public image to the community. People could go there if they wanted to find out about reporting hate crimes. They could report hate crimes. Right now, you have to dig through the Palm City's website to get into the Human Rights Commission. So this would be putting out that information. We could put out the information about this. We could put out the information about our equity walk. You know what I mean? There's a lot of information that we can interface. I think one of the issues was, should there be an email that could be responded to, that people could directly ask questions? But anyway, that's sort of the big picture. If we could get the IT support to create a website specifically for the Human Rights Commission.
Being that we are a city commission, how would that even possibly work, Chairman?
So there's, as Commissioner mentioned, there is a website now. The HRC does technically have a website, but you're right, it is a little bit buried within the city clerk's website. You have the city clerk, boards and commissions, HRC, there's a bunch of sub layers. So what we could explore is carving that out with a more exciting, specific name that would give it more recognition. But we'll have to figure out, what I want to figure out is who on our team has the expertise to design and manage, update content of it.
And would that require any kind of collaboration with the communications department?
Yes.
And just to be clear, we're talking about a web page, not a website, right? Like not a whole brand new site. We mean still within the city. Oh, good. Okay. So it would be great, like if they could make a what they call like a specified URL. So it'll be like, Palm Springs City, whatever the thing .gov/Human Rights Commission or /HRC, whatever they can do, would be great for people to easily find it.
So, the issue of, hate crimes, we dealt with that a little time back, and the council wants to, designate that to the police department.
It has to.
Specific. So it's unclear how we could get involved in that process. But I'm just raising it because we had discussed.
I mean, if this website was well attended, well looked at, with a lot of clicks, we could refer them to.
Yeah.
I mean, but just kind of an information, like
Kind of like
a traffic.
you have this kind of problem, this is where you click or call. to report like a hate crime, right? Or, because remember that when Chief Mills joined us earlier in the year, and his department did a wonderful presentation about the differentiation between hate crimes and hate speech. And how they handle these types of events. So maybe that's another great opportunity for this web page to say you've experienced hate crimes, this is what to do. Do we still have that form for people to submit complaints or?
That has all been pushed over to the police department. I think I understand what the commission is asking about, so let me take the lead on this one. I'll be able to bring something back to the future.
Another option is Engage Palm Springs is an information site, and that might be someplace also we could.
So
have,
maybe in Engage Palm Springs, they give us
Yeah,
one
some
little page,
space.
hey, we have a human rights commission and this is what we do. And these are great resources that you can tap into. If you experience a hate crime, this is what you can do. Something like that.
Happy to report the individual that manages Engage Palm Springs. Her office is directly across from mine, so I can easily coordinate this
I
one.
love that idea. I love that.
Do we have, are we inviting any guests for next? meeting? For October? Yeah,
I don't think we have anyone lined up for October.
can we discuss some?
You have any idea?
Huh?
You have any suggestions?
Well, I don't know. I can think of things, but can somebody else think of things? I mean, we've been having, the nonprofits come in, trying to think what organizations might be interesting.
Who?
We have the center.
The center already presented.
They can before, right before.
Do we want to bring in the food banks maybe? And understand the process that they,
Like Fine Food Bank would be great, because I know that they have a lot of insight into what's going on, especially with funding being cut.
So who do we know that we can tap in the shoulder and say, come and give us a presentation
I'll ask Mike,
on specifically on food banks?
oh, I forget his name. You want me to ask?
Can
Uh,
you?
Yes, I'll go through my comments, or, I don't know, Jeremy.
Gonna mention, I've been keeping a running list of groups that the commission has expressed interest in. We have Martha's Village, the Animal Shelter, Nevins is the contact, Shriners, Palm Springs Pride, Disabilities Right, California, and there was a physicians group you were interested in reaching out to.
Yeah,
Not sure who
Oh,
specifically. they
yeah.
were.
I was just thinking about it now. I was thinking about reaching out to the Desert Healthcare District, which sold Desert Regional Hospital to Tenet, a for-profit, private equity, private investor, publicly traded organization that really extracts money from the business of healthcare. Anyway, that's my personal editorial. But I'd like, would that be available? The district healthcare, the healthcare, Desert Healthcare District that oversees and gets money from the state of healthcare throughout the valley.
As long as these organizations that we're inviting can help our community, educate our community about what's out there, what's available. And the work that they do supports the strategic plans of the council, the goals of the council. It's all going to be driven by how can they help our community members. That, I think, in my opinion, will make them great candidates to come and make a presentation. Food banks, of course, this is
This
What
is
about-
healthcare. I mean, this is healthcare,
This is
especially in the ice age,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
What about veterans, especially tied into before their,
we haven't had anyone talking about veterans.
can we have, invite somebody from the veterans,
We
to do a
haven't-
presentation before the veterans. parade?
Perhaps
Yeah,
I
I
could
would-
reach out to Mr. Aguilar, who was here earlier this evening,
There you go.
who
Oh.
is part of the VFW post out here. I think that would be a great next.
It's a great suggestion.
So I could reach out.
Yes, that's a great suggestion, Ben.
What about the LGBT youth safe home that would get a presentation? What is the name of the home?
Safe Smoke in the Desert.
Yes. Have they made a presentation to us at all?
The CEO is radio commentator on DJ, Eric Ornelas. and he's very active in the community. I don't have Eric Gonzalez's contact info, but I think that organization would be really cool because they do great work for youth.
And I know little about it other than it exists.
Mhm.
How do we donate?
Eric
or
Ordonez.
contribute? I think that would be great.
I can get you this info I
So what do we want for October?
have.
That's a
A lot of
really
ideas.
Can I
How-
just say, the animal shelter is a super easy one. You know, it's a nonprofit in the city. It's a big one, but also we're focusing on, you know, human rights issues. Again, it's animal shelter, but there are things that we deal with that do touch on human rights, especially with we're looking into different rules and codes about places where people live and they're not allowed to have pets or can only have a certain amount of pets or certain size pets. So it's a whole it's a big can of worms to open, but I'm happy to get some here if you need somebody for October. But
Emotional support animals. that can come in.
absolutely,
Yeah, what
service
happens-
animals.
What happens to the pets if somebody passes away, where, you know, is there
I love all of these options. What would be the best focus for October? Knowing that if we do bring veterans, we have the Veterans Day Parade in November, right?
that would be.
Veterans Day in November.
I'm on the board for 29 ESP, which is a nonprofit that recruits drivers to 29 Palms because at the Marine base there, the recruits do not get non-military travel paid for. And so it's lots of money to go. So these are volunteer drivers.
So if we can put together like a panel for veterans in October, then we can do animal shelter and everything in November and LGBTQ youth. We still have December. We have not had an item to bring back the discussion on, and I had in my notes, community service awards. I know, and I know the ball is in someone's court over here
I actually have it on my agenda for October.
for October.
Yes.
So we're gonna bring community service, the discussion item for October, community service awards.
I had previously met with Commissioners Rinky and Horn, and we had spent quite a bit of time
What's that?
drafting.
Community service
Yeah.
awards.
So I
So
have that.
We were working on it.
Yep, I have the info.
I don't know what you want to, well, should we wait for the meeting and then,
Yeah, bring your recommendations for the meeting in October. We'll have it agendized. We'll have a presentation forward discussion. Because I think we're ready to bring the community service awards. Historically, that would happen, the event would happen in February. We would receive nominations in November. We would have a committee selecting in December. Awardees will be contacted between December and January to make sure that they would accept the award and be here. And the event will take place at the city council chambers in February.
that's pretty tight.
That was,
We're not having a full discussion here because that's not an agenda.
no, I just bring in a little bit of context for the timing. But yes, I think it's time to bring it back for discussion in October.
There are decisions to be made though with that document that we really would need to come to some kind of recommendations.
So that document will be shared with the agenda packet.
I can share the, yes, as part of the agenda package, we'll have what the two of you worked on. And I had some additional feedback, so that'll all be brought together.
Super. Great.
With that, I think we're ready. Sure. Yes.
Oh, I have one quick thing. And you know, I know we did not have a meeting last month, so I missed all of you guys. And I was sitting with something during the last meeting we have, and I did not get to bring it up at the end. I feel like we're missing a very big opportunity. You know, everyone is well aware of what's going on with ICE in this country, and right here in our own backyard, we have our friends, coworkers, people, you know, that we know and love that are being ripped off the streets, ripped out of their homes. Just today, the Supreme Court gave carte blanche. Just if you speak Spanish, we're gonna interrogate. There is, you know, we talk on this commission about, you know, we're very limited of what we can do. We're here to make sure human rights are protected. This is the most glaring example. You look at where we live, you look at the makeup of our community, and you look at, we have people who, you know, a lot of us talk about it online, and that's great, but we have to do more than that. I love the conversation about building an information portal. I love the conversation about dealing with the trauma of what's going on. And I think all of that comes together in something that we put out. And I know there's legality we need to look into about what we can say and can't say. No one's going to say, avoid ICE or whatever. What we're going to say is if ICE knocks on your door, here's what you can do. And there are organizations that are doing this. There are organizations, we can provide numbers of organizations that people can call if they are inside their house and ICE is knocking on the door without a warrant. They will talk them through what to say in the hopes that it'll save them from getting, ripped out of their home. Unfortunately, what we're seeing is it doesn't feel like a lot of laws are being followed anyway, but it is something to do. And when I see videos and read stories and you hear about Loco Charlies and you hear about all the places in our own community here in Palm Springs, not just Greater Palm, right here, people that are disappearing. Our neighbors, our friends, for some people, it's our family members disappearing and being targeted. I think this is where we have a responsibility to do something. And even if it's as simple as information, if you knew that information was there and someone you love was getting stopped, you could pull that up quickly or you have it saved as a document on your phone. That is powerful to have that number ready to call an organization that can help. Or immigration lawyers who are doing pro bono work. I just think there's a way to do it. And I feel like, and I know we got a month off and that's great, but I feel like we really I would love to get this on, I guess, the agenda or next meeting, because I feel like, tick, tick, tick with ICE getting the largest budget ever given. I think it's pretty clear that they will be back in our neighborhood and they will be doing more of their swings.
If I could add to that, the spotlight will come clearly to this commission.
Yeah.
Because more people that realize this stuff is happening and that human rights are being violated, more people are going to turn to the commission and say, well, what are you doing about it? You go, well, with this, so we need to be sort of prepared.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we're late to that game, to be honest. I really do. And that's why I wanted to speak up
It
tonight.
keeps changing.
Yeah.
It keeps changing.
And the problem is that we don't want to get too political.
And yeah.
Right. So we have to sort of finesse.
Okay, so let me bring this back, because again, we can turn this into an agenda discussion item if it's not agendized. I hear that we have the need to bring an agenda discussion item on what this commission could potentially do to help folks get educated and prepared in case they're experiencing those horrible rates.
And just clarifying, and I know Jeremy said he would look into this, which was nice of him. Just the legality of what we can say, what we can't say, what we can provide. I'm sure there is very strict guidance there.
What I'm hearing is we'll have this as an agenda discussion item in October. I will meet with the city attorney's office, so I'm prepared now to guide the conversation in the appropriate direction.
Thank you.
Great points. Excellent. So are we ready to adjourn? We are? We're not?
Unless I guess.
Can I speak, Jeremy?
Yeah,
Is
sure,
that
sure,
allowed?
absolutely.
Is that okay? So Grace Gardner, so I'm your council liaison. I haven't been in here yet.
First echo.
Yeah. We can fix that. So I won't necessarily be at all of your meetings. Like for instance, just now I was at a meeting with the city manager, so I came as soon as I could. But I am going to be following along, paying attention to what's happening. And then if there are different times when you specifically want me to attend, then I'm able to, but then you're also able to just email me, call me, whatever it is. If you have concerns or just questions about where you think something will go. Really good to hear all of this conversation. And yeah, so we have on Engage Palm Springs, we link to the county. So my other hat is I work for our county supervisor. So back in January, we passed a resolution and we made a website, a landing page on the website with all of those types of resources, so that we could easily share. And actually just today at the Public Safety Commission for CVAC, I was resharing all of that information with those groups. So there's definitely a lot to discuss, especially in light of the Supreme Court. So I'm glad you're going to be doing that. And there are a lot of legal issues and things that we have to consider. So, but I do think that what you all are talking about right now is also really helpful because there's certain things that the city council either can't do, or it takes us down a very different path and takes us away from the city business that we have to do. So this is a really great opportunity for the Human Rights Commission to be leading us in certain issues. That way we can be supportive of your efforts, and if there needs to be, I don't know, something that we need to act on, or I don't want to say funding because we didn't have a lot of funding this last round, but potentially funding that needs to happen to make something work out, we can do that. But really, really happy to be your liaison and happy that you're having these discussions. Just from the little bit that I heard, it was really nice to hear. And I know Malachi is recovering from his surgery, but you know, he's watching. I'm very excited to have him here too as the newest member. And I think we'll be filling, Naomi and Ron will be filling a vacancy as well pretty soon.
That's
So
great.
you'll have a full commission.
We're really glad that you agreed to be our city council liaison. We're very happy for that. And it's just great to know that we can really reach out and say, hey, this is on our minds. And
Yeah.
usually we communicate everything to our staff liaison. That's kind of how we do it, but
And-
it's wonderful that you're offering for us to be able to reach out.
Absolutely, you can. You still have to, deal with the Brown Act, so you still can't have a majority of you trying to interface with me. But don't worry, I will also just shut it down. Sorry, you can't have that
We just
conversation.
email you through the .gov website.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'll send you all an email later, just so that you have my contact
We
information.
welcome you any opportunity you have to.
Yeah, and I did add them all to my calendar, so although I think you've got an issue with Indigenous Peoples' Day for one of your meetings,
Didn't we move to October 13th?
I think that's Indigenous Peoples' Day.
That's a holiday.
Yeah, October 13th is Indigenous Peoples' Day. That was what was put on my
Yeah,
calendar.
we moved it to the 15th.
You moved it to the 15th. Okay, I will fix that then. Okay, perfect. But yeah, I've got them on my calendar, so I'm gonna try to make sure I can come to as many as I can. But if I'm not here, just know that I am gonna be following along wherever I am and watching later.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. So back to you. Hugo.
That's wonderful. We're just going to adjourn. But
Okay.
before we adjourn, we would like to recognize that we're, as community, we're obviously both feeling the loss of Harold Matzner, who was a wonderful philanthropist and a great person that championed a lot of social good for our community. So we want to express obviously our sadness for the loss.
He adjourned in his name.
And now adjourning his name, the commission will adjourn to the scheduled meeting scheduled on Wednesday, October the 15th, 2020. So thank you, everyone. Have a great night. Stay safe.
Not
Thank you.
that meeting.
That meeting's gonna be tough for me as well. All the vaccines through.
Are you really?
Seriously. Oh, wow. Yeah,
Wow.
Mexico?
and it's out of Miami.
This-
I'll be in New York State.
Just FYI.
We are impressed with the knowledge.
Was beautiful, but when I was watching the people speak there, I was gonna. You see that at all?
Can we change this? October 14th?
I don't know. I have to.
Jeremy, could you change that since you're not gonna be able to make it? I'm not?